It can change the sun and whatnot.
Wow, they got coffees in here for him? No. Marty kept me though.
So I need to be on the side so I don't see this stupid thing.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Myles.
Pretty good?
Good.
So Joel, after thinking about whether or not you come back to this year, what are your emotions kind of starting training camp number 12?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're in a good place. The team seems energized and ready to roll, but personally I'm excited. I feel really good physically right now. You know, we'll see how it feels in a couple weeks, but right now I feel good and ready to go.
Joe, you've been through so many different camps with different coaches. Do you think the personality of this camp from Stefanski will be different from the previous one?
Yeah, we've talked about intensity, we've talked about energy, we've talked about we got to start fast and we got to keep building up. We have a couple of joint practices; those always bring up the intensity. So I think we're going to have a high intensity physical training camp.
Is there one camp that sticks out that was tougher, more high intensity, or more physical than any you can remember?
It's hard. I think early in my career, you don't know what you don't know. So like my first and second year with Pedden, there was a lot more allowed. Like you could do half line still, you could do like inside run, tackling drills and stuff. And so those always felt a little bit more physical than we've kind of progressed to. Just I think that's more of an NFL wide thing though.
Since veterans don't play a lot in preseason games, how much do those two joint practices help in terms of getting ready?
Yeah, there's a positive to them. I think if you have a good team that you're going against and you get controlled reps, in a controlled environment, sometimes they get a little out of place, especially if it goes more than a day or two because, one team wins the first day and the next team comes back angry because they got yelled at the night before. If you have good practices, it can be very helpful.
Joe, can you guys just write off last year as nothing went right?
It's part of that, but I think we have to take some accountability. Like we were out there playing games. I know we weren't in a perfect position all the time, but at some point, as a player, I think everybody looked in the mirror and was like, what can I do to be better? Not just, last year we didn't like the play calls, we didn't like this. It was, you have to, take a step and try and improve yourself a little bit.
Do you go into every season believing that you guys have a legitimate chance to, to make the playoffs and get yourself just, really pumped and hyped up for that type of
Yeah,
scenario?
I mean, I'm personally forever optimistic. That's just how I've been my whole life. But I think, honestly, truly, every NFL team goes into training camp, knowing they have a chance. Like we have a majority of our team back from 2 years ago when we went, 11-6 and made the playoffs and made a run. We do know we have to play better and we have to improve and do some things right. But I think the mentality of the team and the work we're going to try and do gives us that optimism.
Why do you think expectations are so low for this team nationally?
Because we played very bad last year. We were, disappointing. I think everybody was disappointed. I went 0-16, 1-15, 3-13. And I feel like that was probably my most disappointed year just with what we had done the year before and the players we had. So it was very frustrating. So I understand why the outside world wants to write us off because it makes sense on, from what you're looking at the year before.
And is that a good place for the team to be?
Yeah, it's fine. We're going to try and not look at the noise, I think we're going to try and work. And I think guys have chips on their shoulder, and everybody's motivated differently, but I think there's a positive motivation for our guys.
How
You've been through a
eager are you
bunch
to
of,
see how this quarterback shuffle ends up?
What was the question? Sorry?
How eager are you to see who emerges as your starting quarterback?
Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, the starting quarterback in the NFL is probably the most important position, so I know they're going to have a good battle. I know the guys are ready to work, and it's going to be a good competition. So, I'll look forward to it whenever it's announced.
Joel, are guys talking about what has gone on and what is going on in the NFLPA?
Yeah, there's been some talks for sure.
I mean, is it something that you feel bothered by, that you feel like will get it all resolved?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a vulnerable position right now as NFLPA, and it feels like there's some, internal breakage inside the NFLPA that is causing some rift. So it's something we definitely need to get figured out and try and put a stop to it and, catch our breaths and get back to it.
How active have you been as a representative of this team?
Yeah, I'm the second alternate. Shelby Harris is the main alternate, so he's our voting rep. But I've been on some calls. Obviously, I'm pretty close friends with J.C. Treader, so I have some, just some discussions with him in the whole situation. And there's probably some things I can't say or won't say, but it's the players are trying to figure out a way to get us in the right position. And obviously, with the whole Lloyd situation and what kind of went down, it puts a bad light on the whole NFLPA. But I think the players that are on the executive committee that are voting reps are trying to do the right thing now and find a good interim candidate.
Joe, does this quarterback competition feel different? I mean, you've been through plenty of them. Does this feel different because of the dynamics? There's 4 guys, 2 of them are veterans, 2 of them are rookies. As you approach it day one?
Yeah, it's 4 quarterbacks that everybody's trying to compete and play, and it's a big number of guys with limited reps. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Luckily, you have a guy like Joe that has some experience and has some playing time, and Kenny's played a lot. I think it's just going to be whoever's most comfortable in the system and can make throws. I think all of them are talented, and all of them have that ability to be a starting quarterback in this league. Maybe not today, but in the future. So it'll be a good competition.
After OTAs and minicamp, how do you feel about Juwan Jones playing?
I think he's a lot more comfortable than he was when he was asked to play last year. I think he's a guy you see flashes with all the time. There's some great plays, and for him, we've talked about just the consistency. He's obviously worked to get his body in better shape, and he's coming into camp in good shape. And it's just going to be a consistency, play-to-play battle. He has to go up against a guy like Myles in practice, and there's going to be some wins and some losses. And it's just having that mental attitude to come back and try and get better from it.
Tell me, what kind of an asset is it to have a man so big playing linebacker?
Yeah, it helps. I mean, if you can get to your spot and you have those long arms, like it takes a lot to run around the guy or run through the guy. Size is a very strong trait, and I think when he's focused and he gets to his spot and he plays long, like he's a very good tackle.
How much time did you think about this could be my last training camp?
Not too much. I'm really trying to live in the moment and just, one practice, one meeting, everything at a time. There'll be time, when it's over to think about that stuff.
When you showed up last year, did that enter your mind that it could be the last one?
No.
Okay.
I did not think about that.
Joel, getting back to the emphasis on the run game, getting the ball out quickly, just as someone who's been around as long as you have, how excited are you to get back to that type of a scheme that really seemed to work for a couple of years there?
Yeah, it's O-lineman's, dream offense in that sense. Like, hey, we're going to run the ball. We're going to play action. We're going to take our shots when they're there. Quick passing game. But it's something we have to make happen. Like, it's great to say, but if the running game's not working, if you're not, converting those runs and the play action, all that stuff, it turns into a drop back game. Like, no matter what you say, if you're down by 2 touchdowns early, you're going to start dropping back. So it's something that we have to make come true, but we are excited with the foundation. Sweet.
Pretty good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
you think the mood of the team is as you guys are ready to go?
Positive. I think guys are looking forward to get on the field, prove themselves, and just getting better each and every day.
How do you enter? It's year 9, so how do you enter the camp with expectations for yourself and this team?
Expectations are higher than ever. Expect to bounce back from last year, myself and defensively and as a team. So the standard doesn't change, or at least it doesn't lower. It just raises and improves. I think we have guys who are older, understand both sides of the coin. Come from a really good season, come from a really bad season. It can happen just like that. So you've got to take that into account every single day when you're training and getting to know your guys. The margins for this game are very thin.
Myles, every year you talk about raising your game, taking it to that next level. Even with the defensive player of the year, the trophy case, all the accolades and all the records you've already amassed at this point in your career. So as you come into this season, have you pinpointed what the level beyond that is, and how do you get there?
I expect to get to the Super Bowl. That's our expectation every year. I expect to run back the Defensive Player of the Year. So, keeping both of those things in mind, I have to be the very best player I can be every single day, whether we're practicing or playing. As soon as I step foot in the building, I have to be the best version of myself and the best leader I can possibly.
Myles, I know every year it seems like you talk about a different theme or focus for your off season. If you had to define that this year, what do you think it was?
Letting that inner voice out, everything that I try to keep in, and my inner monologue, how I go out throughout the day, think about things, or just letting people hear that, hear my thoughts, and allow that to speak volumes, and guys really grab hold of it and be able to take it and inspire them, motivate them, and so we can improve. Not just keeping that to myself anymore.
Myles, if you guys were such a good defense in 23, was there some kind of maybe you just rolled out and expected that last year and it didn't happen, or how would you explain that?
How would I explain what?
Why you guys didn't play as well defensively last year as you did in 23, and do you expect this to be more like 2 years ago?
Yeah, we expect to raise the bar again. It's hard to stay at the very top as far as defensively, and we have to come in and understand that last year is gone. You can't expect for teams not to adjust or to just things to roll over and teams to fear us, especially not after 1 year. You have to prove that year in and year out that you'll be the same person or come back better each and every time you step on the field. And I think guys really have come to understand that now after a down year from us defensively last year.
Myles, I have a question about theme. What is the tone that you want to see on the field, especially starting today, but as you guys ramp up and get into the summer, what's the tone that needs to be set by your team?
It needs to be focused and intense. It needs to be intentional every time you step foot on the field, every time you walk into the classroom. You got to know exactly what you're doing and know how you can improve and improve the man next to you.
Myles, obviously quarterback's so important. So how do you view coming in not knowing which one of 4 guys could be your week 1 starter?
That's got nothing to do with me. That's all up to Kevin. And whoever he decides is the best fit for what we're trying to do offensively. Game 1 we're gonna rock beside, and I think all of these guys are very capable, and we have confidence, all of them. But the final decision's on Kevin, and we'll roll with that.
What gives you the feeling or the confidence, now that you've been around this version of the 2025 Browns, the feeling that you guys can make that legit run again at a Super Bowl and the playoff?
The fact that we came off such a down year and guys weren't satisfied. Guys were really disappointed because they knew what we had in the locker room, how within ourselves, and it wouldn't be a letdown if this was an expectation. But it is because we know we have far more in the tank. We have a great core unit, a lot of young guys, and there's a lot of juice to squeeze. So we're going to continue to try to find the best ways to put guys in position to make plays for us, whether it's offense or defense, and even special teams. And I think we'll really be able to turn the page this year coming up.
is there a lesson from 2024 that collectively as a team you can carry into 2025 to not only make you a better team, but also to help you get through any adversity that eventually will pop up?
Don't take things for granted. It's never going to be easy. No matter what position you play, what your record is, what your record was. Any given Sunday, both teams have a chance. So you've got to come out and be that same player every time you step on foot on the field. You can't have a slow step. You can't forget your assignment. All those things that feel like minute details, or just one bad step that can lead to a big play, a touchdown, whatever it is. That's how those things accumulate, and you end up where we were at last year.
Hey, given how frustrated you were at the end of last season, how were you able to get to this place right now where you have this optimism, you have such high expectations for this team?
You got to channel it. I have such high expectations for the team because I have such high expectations for myself. The team's going to go as I go. I'm going to try to be the driving factor behind that, and create a standard in which everyone has to chase every single day.
Myles, what do you expect? Now you saw Mason Graham and OTAs, Kevin, all that. What do you think he can do to help this defense?
From what I've seen this offseason, I think he's worked his ass off. I've seen him in multiple different places, whether it's Pass Rush Summit, Houston with Malik, back up here after that. He's put in the work, and he's really dedicated to the craft. So I really believe he'll get out there and make a hell of an impact, very early.
Myles, in the offseason, Denzel just really went to bat for you, when you were having your trade demand and things like that, and he really sort of just supported the heck out of you. Talks about how the two of you together can lead this defense and this football team. So my question is, how have you seen Denzel grow as a player and as a leader, and what about the synergy between you two guys just helping to pull this team up?
Well, he's been my brother since he stepped foot on this facility grounds, and he's always had my back, and it's always been vice versa. So, and I appreciate him standing by me through everything. But he's been a leader. He's been a leader in that DB room, and I just continue to try to elevate his voice and make him heard throughout the whole team. And I think he is, but can't have anyone feeling like they can't be that leader for the entire team. And I feel like just empowering him and other leaders across the team, other players across the team to make their voices heard, leading by example, but also leading with their voice. That'll create a even more powerful environment where you can really grow and then improve.
Denzel mentioned Mason as a guy that he's keeping his eye on as an impact player, like you said, and somebody he wants to see continue to grow in camp. Is there guys on your side of the ball that you've got your eye on that kind of looking to see take another step or continue their development?
I'll say MJ. MJ for sure. I think he knows that he didn't have the year that he wanted to last year, and he had a great year before that, and he wants to continue to improve. He wants to prove that he's the guy in that room, and that should always be the mindset. No matter who's in your room, whether it's me, whether it's Denzel, you're out to show that you're the very best. Whether it's on your team or across the league. I want to see him achieve those goals for himself. Grant get back to playing at that Pro Bowl level. I want to see those linebackers step up, especially the young ones. I think DB has a lot to prove, specialty has a lot to prove, and who's going to be at the end next to me. And I think a lot of guys are really taking hold of that challenge. Jock has made it very, very clear that it's up for grabs. So you look at it like that. You've got to attack every single day. You can't let off the gas for even one play.
Myles, back in minicamp, I know you spent a lot of time talking with Devon, kind of working with him. You guys are kind of going up against each other. One of those conversations, like how much can you help him in a position he's trying to sort of learn more used to the right side as he gets prepared for the season?
Just trying to walk him through my process while I'm rushing what I'm seeing. What I'm trying to set up. If I'm like laying bait or laying traps, and trying to get him to a point where if he can see those things in me, he can see those things in many of the other rushers across the league. I'm not the same style as those other guys, but I can try to emulate that and give him a look so he can be aware of those things and be prepared when the time comes.
You mentioned it ends on the other side of you. What have you seen out of one of the new guys, Joe? How do you think he can impact this team?
I think he's quick. I think he's explosive, and I think he works hard. He's this first time he's been asked to really rush this much, so I think he's really been up for the challenge, and he's really adapted to the new role pretty quickly. Now we just got to get all the moveset defined and crystal clear. But right now, I think he's really trending in the right direction.
Myles, I know Joel and Denzel talked about this a little bit, but it seemed like in the spring, we saw more competitive periods and offense versus defense periods. And does it feel like that sense of urgency or that focus is heightened coming into camp this year? For sure.
I mean, even talking about it today, the D-line has put a real emphasis on one-on-ones during practice. Having a board, a setup for wins and losses, and just taking hold of that, looking at it where if the guy with the most wins is probably going to be the guy who's lining up on Sunday. The guy with who's getting off the quickest, or beating this guy compared to this guy. I think all those things will be taken into account, and it'll be something that the whole team pays attention to instead of just our groups individually.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Myles.
Thank you.